So finally we have the R1 Shadowhunter crossbow inside Warzone. It was in the game, then taken out of the game. It was in the store, then taken out of the store, but finally it's now inside Warzone and it's fully playable. And in this video, we're going to go over a couple of things, how you can quickly unlock it, what the stats are for the crossbow, and we're also going to compare it to the crossbow that is from Modern Warfare. If you enjoy weapon comparisons, weapon breakdowns, and overall tips and tricks for Warzone, subscribe to the channel as we try to reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers. And we're also going to make a sniper guide once that new ZLR sniper comes out in the mid-season update, so make sure you subscribe for that. And also click the link in the description down below and follow us over on Twitch. We're trying to achieve a goal of 100 followers over there. So there's a lot of things to go over in this video, but the first thing is how to unlock it as quickly as possible. So the challenge is to get 3 one-shot, one-kill medals per game, and you need to do that 15 times, which is quite a lot of times in my opinion. I think that's quite a hard challenge to do, especially if you only have Warzone and you're a free-to-play player. This is going to be a really hard challenge for you, so the easiest thing to do is to go into Plunder, of course. So the first thing you want to do if you're a free-to-play player is load up into Plunder. Then you want to go to either Superstore or Storage Town, because those are the two busiest areas of the map. And you either want to use an RPG, a sniper rifle, or the other crossbow, the Modern Warfare version. Those are the only weapons that will allow you to get a one-shot, one-kill when it comes to Warzone. So make sure you try and pick up as much stopping power as you can and put it in your crossbow or put it in your sniper, and it's going to help you out tremendously. But you need to make sure you don't have any attachments equipped on any of these guns as well, and that is why I would recommend the crossbow or even a Modern Warfare sniper rifle, as they have the better optics in my opinion. Now, if you do have Cold War multiplayer available to you, then of course you want to do it in that, because that's going to be much easier, but you can't back out of any games inside the multiplayer. You have to play the games right to the end, whereas inside Warzone, if you do it in Plunder, you can get your 3 kills, leave, and then do it all over again. But that is one of the benefits of doing it inside Warzone instead of doing it inside multiplayer. So the next section of this video, we're actually going to go over the stats for the crossbow and compare it to the Modern Warfare crossbow as well. So what you'll see on screen just now is actually the overall handling stats for both of the crossbow weapons. So we've got the Modern Warfare crossbow on the left and the R1 Shadowhunter crossbow on the right. And we calculated the rate of fire for both of these to be exactly the same almost, at 24 rounds per minute. The aim down sight speed is 434 milliseconds on the regular Modern Warfare crossbow. The R1 Shadowhunter has a faster aim down sight speed by about 130 milliseconds. Both only have a mag size of 1, obviously you only get 1 bolt per shot, but obviously you can carry much more ammo than that. Then the reload time on the Modern Warfare crossbow is slightly quicker, and that's why I do think the rate of fire will be a tiny bit quicker on the Modern Warfare crossbow, but it's definitely not enough to notice. The maximum bullet velocity on the R1 Shadowhunter is slightly quicker than the Modern Warfare crossbow, even though the Modern Warfare crossbow does have attachments that can improve bullet velocity, but we'll get onto that in just a moment. And then lastly, the overall movement speed bonus goes to the R1 Shadowhunter, and that is because most of the Cold War weapons have faster movement overall. The testing that was done on the Modern Warfare crossbow was not using any of these special bolts. We were just using the main arrow that you get with the base weapon, and we basically equipped every other attachment to give it the fastest possible bullet velocity. And that's just to make sure that we did give it a fair test, comparing it to the R1 Shadowhunter. Moving on to damage profiles now, you'll see that on screen, and we weren't able to calculate exact damage values for both of these guns, especially the way we test. It's quite tricky to do that. But for both of these guns, what we were able to calculate is the number of shots to kill. So if you have either one of these two guns and you land a headshot, it's going to be a 1-shot kill. If enemies have 3 plates, it's going to be a 2-shot kill. 1 shot will take off all armor plates, and the 2nd shot will down your opponent. But then if the enemy does have only 2 armor plates or less, it will be a 1-shot to down your opponents for body shots. So after spending a little bit of time playing with both of these guns, I have come to the conclusion that if you're looking at just the base weapons on their own, the R1 Shadowhunter is definitely the best. It has a faster aim down sight time, a slightly faster bullet velocity, and on top of that, it's going to have the exact same damage profile as the Modern Warfare crossbow. But moving on to the more discussion side of this video, and I really wanted to talk about this as well, is the fact that the R1 Shadowhunter, as you can see on screen just now, has no attachments. So you can only choose optic attachments, which is so weird. And I mean, you can even see on the top of the screen that it does have 5 attachment slots, but you only get 1 attachment. Even if you fully level up this weapon, there's only optics available for it, which is probably one of the main reasons why it's getting held back compared to the Modern Warfare crossbow. So if we take a look at the Modern Warfare crossbow, there's so many attachment options here. You could choose different cable strands, which would give you bullet velocity or bolt accuracy. There's arms that are going to give you faster bullet velocity, damage range, kind of similar to the way barrels do for weapons. And then also on top of that, one of the more important ones is the bolt options. So you've got the explosive tip, you've got the thermite tip, you've got the tear gas tip. But like I said, there's nothing like that at all for the R1 Shadowhunter. So it's kind of tough to pick this even over the Modern Warfare crossbow, because if you are using like the explosive rounds, they're much better than the standard rounds you get for the Modern Warfare crossbow. So like I said, if you're only using the base weapon, the R1 Shadowhunter is the best, but you're obviously going to put attachments on your gun if you have them available to you. So then you're definitely going to opt to go for the Modern Warfare crossbow instead, because you've got so many different attachment options. And this is another quick discussion I want to have, is that I do feel like the crossbows inside Warzone at the moment are not great. I mean, not a lot of people are going to choose this as their primary weapon, and that goes for the Modern Warfare crossbow as well as the R1 Shadowhunter. Neither one of these two guns are great options, especially considering how good the metas are inside Warzone, and these guns are not forgiving at all. I mean, they're pretty decent at point blank range, I suppose, and they don't have any damage drop-offs as well, which is good if you're trying to shoot at a distance. But the bullet velocity and the bullet drop on them is insanely bad, so you're not really going to choose it over a sniper rifle, for example. And something I was discussing with our chat over on Twitch was to make both of these crossbows secondary weapons, so you can actually put them in the RPG slot or the launcher slot, or even add a whole separate special category for them, because using these as secondary weapons might actually be pretty viable. Now, I still don't think they're better than even Diamatti pistols or the dual M16 pistols, but they can be useful for someone who wants a kind of medium range until they get their ghost class, and then they can pick up their secondary weapon. But it'll definitely make it a much more usable weapon, because in the primary weapon slot, they're not going to get used at all. There's so many more viable weapons out there. And to balance this out and make the Shadowhunter just as good as the Modern Warfare crossbow, they do need to add attachments to it that are not just optics. They do need to add like different bolts, all that kind of stuff to make it more balanced. But that is what I think they should do with the crossbows, in my opinion, because they're definitely not going to get used and they're definitely not viable, but I don't really need them to buff it either to make them overpowered. If they were a one-shot kill, I feel like everyone would use them and they would be super overpowered. So I do feel like they're pretty balanced, but they're not really going to get used unless they're in a secondary weapon slot. One thing I would highly recommend is make sure you don't buy the crossbow from the store bundle. It's not worth it at all. Make sure if you're going to unlock it, just do the challenge. I don't really recommend getting the store bundle version of this, because it's not a good weapon and it's not even got any attachments, so you're not even getting what you pay for, in my opinion. Let me know what you think about the crossbow situation down in the comments below, and if you're excited for the new mid-season update. Also, make sure if you learned something new to subscribe to the channel, as it takes us a while to put together videos like this, and we want to achieve our goal of 10,000 subscribers. And also click the link in the description and follow us over on Twitch, and thank you very much for watching.